Yeah. I'm curious, who do you think, in your opinion, is the greatest tech entrepreneur of all time?
Ooh. Tech entrepreneur. Interesting. Does Elon count as an entrepreneur?
I think so, yeah.
I think he kind of swoops into companies that are on their way and makes a huge difference. But maybe if an entrepreneur is like someone who started a company. Dang, entrepreneur. I don't know that any of the people I'm thinking of are like truly starting the companies.
Jobs?
The ones that come to mind, yeah, Jobs was like, is fundamental to Apple's formative years, and like he's a big reason why they are what they are.
Then to open it up, I guess, tech pioneer.
Yeah, it's probably Elon.
Elon, really?
Yeah, it's just like the vision he has to have for the future. I specifically look at Tesla when I look at that. Is just like the reason every single other car company in the world, which is 100 years old, is going, oh, we need to change what we're doing. Is because of what that company did. And proved that electric cars could be cool and useful and actually a better car.
He said something in your interview. He was really harping on how competitive the car industry was.
Yes.
But he said it almost like it was some mafia shit. Like he kind of like laughed to himself a little bit. He was like, yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Like this is really competitive. Do you know what he's really trying to say?
I think he's saying every car company in the US, other than Ford and maybe one other one, has either died or been bailed out by the government. Like it's super easy to just run out of money.
Yeah.
And so I think he's like very proud of the fact that Tesla didn't die or run out of money. They've been very close and have needed government subsidies, but like it's hard to make a car company.
Yeah.
And what other new car companies can you think of that suddenly have like the mass market, like Prius of California? Like what other new, they're all old companies. They've been around forever. So making a new car company and in 15 years being ubiquitous on the streets all over the world is really
unbelievably
hard.
impressive.
Really hard.
Beat that system. Like the one thing, like the mafia, you have to buy a car through a dealership, and he went over that whole
True.
thing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I think a lot of that is like the way of thinking, and that could probably bite him a lot too, which is like the way it's being done right now, that doesn't have to keep going. We don't have to do it the way it's always been done.
Yeah.
And usually that's actually, there's something to it. Like dealership model kind of sucks. And he was right. I would rather buy my car and customize it online and just pick it up when it's ready.
And he just makes more money because we cut out this commission we're paying this guy.
Yeah.
But why did the dealership model develop?
Dealership model is
internet,
terrible.
But what was it? What?
I don't know exactly how it started, but now it's just like, dealers are separate companies and car manufacturers aren't allowed to sell to
Their
consumers.
own cars.
Yeah. So they sell them to dealerships and then dealerships sell the car at the MSRP, the manufacturer's suggested retail price, the sticker price. But the dealership can just haggle, do whatever they want.
Probably like alcohol, like a alcohol company can't own a bar, and it has to go through a distributor, and then.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the easiest way to grow it is if people are just like, if Chevy couldn't necessarily afford to have 10,000 dealerships across America maybe, but if guys like, yo, let me have the dealership, I'll sell your cars, you get more Chevys out on the road. And then again, the internet, before the internet, there was middlemen everywhere.
Yeah.
So you just needed a middleman to be like, hey, let me sell this car and then I'll get a commission.
Yeah.
And then you're just slowly just getting rid
But
of
making
all.
it illegal to sell your own cars just seems absurd.
There was probably some monopoly protection built in or
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know.
Because of state franchise laws, these laws protect independent car dealers by prohibiting manufacturers from selling cars directly to consumers. I guess it's just for protection for someone that's going to.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elon is number one. Now, you said something interesting about how he swoops in at the right time.
Yeah.
I think the majority of people, myself included, see Elon as like a true engineer. Like he's in there doing the math problems with everybody. But it's impossible for him to do that with 4 different businesses.
Yeah.
So what do you think the difference between the perception from like the layman's and the people who actually know what's going on?
Yeah. I think there's a couple different types of company leaders. And my favorite one is the product guy who like knows a lot about the product, cares deeply about how good the product is, and has a vision for what that should be. And then the company serves that vision. And I think like Tim Cook might be an example of like the ruthless supply chain guy, where like he's the business guy. Stock price has never been higher, but now you're not necessarily as inspired by the new products or visions from the company.
Yeah.
Where Steve Jobs,
Steve.
exactly, he's not thinking at all about the logistics. There's like a famous story of like weeks before the iPhone was going to launch, they had like a plastic display, and they're like, guys, we need it to be glass, capacitive, go. And they're like, that's impossible. We're launching this in 2 weeks. It's already done with the plastic screen. He's like, it has to be glass. Do it. And it's like, that's not going to work, guys. But the product guy was like, this is going to be better, and we've got to do it right, and this is the way it should be done. Where it's like, I don't know necessarily what Tim Cook would have done in that situation, but it's like Tim Cook's going to find a way to get all the supply chain stuff together to make sure they can make enough, to make sure they have their margins high enough, and that's what he will, and their stock price will be through the roof because they'll make tons of money, but the products won't be the same.
So then don't you need a Tim Cook and a Steve?
Yeah.
Like, don't you need almost like a creative wild man?
Hopefully they're side by side. I mean, it tends to be a hierarchy where like you got one guy at the top and that's the sort of way things go. But I do like going to a company where they're like, yeah, we've got, here's this guy, he's the boss. And within like a minute or two of talking to that person, I know if he's a product guy or a design guy or an advertising guy or a supply chain guy.
Besides Tesla, what are some companies where at the head is a product guy?
Product guy. There's a car company called Lucid that I've talked to recently.
Those are
Incredible behind the scenes and like really great technology that they care a lot about. And I had the guy walk me through every single thing that he opened up a battery pack in front of me and pointed at things and explained things. I was like, this guy's good. Cares about the product. And there's some people, let's see if I can think. So Sundar's Google, Satya is Microsoft, Bezos, not anymore. I feel like a lot of these guys are really good, ruthless business leaders. Yeah. And then right underneath them is all the product guys.
Yeah.
And they have to convince that guy about the product.
Oh, that's it. But that's kind of interesting. Like, I wonder what's the better way. Is it the Steve at the top and then him convincing your business guys of the ideas? Or is it better to have one business guy at the top and then your creatives doing everything they can to convince?
Yeah, I think you can get carried away with a Steve if he has too many ideas that aren't actually going to work.
You need someone to check him.
And you need someone who can go, not that one.
This is the Kanye thing. Like,
yeah.
It's a pretty, like, he will be incredibly successful when he's accompanied with an Adidas or an actual business that has distribution, that has the factories, and that can say, we're not going to do that. We're going to make this product. You said yes yesterday. We all agreed. And
they need to be able to push that line a little bit. But if you just keep going over the line over and over, there's no point in the other party existing.
Yeah.
So you need them to be able to offer some flexibility and figure things out.
Yeah.
I think you need both.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely need both.
Yeah. What do you think about STEM Player?
I only got to use it briefly, and it was like kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the idea of being able to like mix your own version of a song, it's cool. It was like a cool toy.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was like some genius thing that was gonna. I guess people think it's genius when it sells a bazillion copies or whatever.
Right.
I think it was just a cool toy.
It felt like a toy. It didn't feel like this is going to change the way that we listen to music.
But Kanye said he wants to create a phone. He said that with Lex. He was like, I want to get into products.
Yeah.
Hope he makes a phone.
Wait.
Review the Kanye phone.
With him there. Yeah. Just start trashing
To his
phone.
face, like, man.
What's up, guys? That clip was brought to you by Rocket Money, okay? This is the personal finance app that allows you to manage subscriptions, lower bills, build a custom budget, and grow your savings all in one place. That's right. They're canceling unwanted subscriptions for you safely and securely. You don't even got to call up a company. They got your back. They're lowering your bills. They're literally negotiating your bills for you. All you got to do is send them a picture of the bill, tap a button, and they got your back, and monitoring your credit card score, and much more. So if you're ready to save some money, go to rocketmoney.com/flagrant or click the link in the description below to get started for free or unlock even more features with premium. That's rocketmoney.com/flagrant to get started for free. Click the link in below.